Hi guys, so we've seen how a shortage of lorry drivers is impacting the food industry, but other sectors are also suffering. British business relies on robust supply chains, and as we know, it's been under pressure as a result of Brexit. However, it isn't just driver shortages that's causing problems. British goods such as cars and Boris Johnson's favourite, fridges, risk being held up by Brexit red tape. Well, this is related to an issue that I spoke about some time ago, standards. So manufacturers have been asking the government to provide a suitable replacement for the EU safety standards, but nothing has been forthcoming. This isn't only an issue for export, but also for the production of goods for use in the UK. British components needed for the use in UK manufacturing currently have the correct kite mark, which is to guarantee that the product is safe for use. Heads of business have said that this is the latest in a line of serious setbacks. This latest one could result in manufacturers and suppliers refusing to use the tools. Without the correct certification for environmental and safety standards, these products cannot be sold in the British market. During the rushed Brexit negotiations that focused, it seems, primarily on fish, little consideration was given to recognising each other's safety standards. And while this is not good for the EU, it is certainly worse for the UK. As the EU still have their own globally recognised standard, the UK seem to be flying blind here. If you pick up an item next to you, there's a strong chance that it has the CE stamp on it. This has been the case for years, but after the 1st of January next year, the UK will have its own standard, and it will need to be policed by the relevant government testing body. It's not clear how far the government has progressed in setting up or retrofitting existing bodies to carry out this job. But if the UK doesn't get this body up and running and have it recognised on the world stage, then it could have a serious impact on international trade. We're not just talking about the EU export market here. We're talking about how goods may not be accepted for export to nations the UK is planning to replace the EU with. Heads of industry and those in charge of assessing conformity have told the media that there isn't enough capacity in some cases, and in others, the capacity is zero to carry out testing on certain goods before the 1st of January deadline. This will and should force industry to put more pressure on the government. These were all things that should have been sorted out during the transition period, but while the EU offered the UK more time to get things ready, the response from Boris Johnson and his Brexiteer government was, no extensions to the transition period. We will leave the transition period even with no deal. Remember the no deal threat. As we edge our way out of the pandemic, this could potentially, if left unfixed, throw a spanner in the works of any recovery. There are certain standards that need to be met in order to install certain equipment. For example, a project to construct homes or upgrade a commercial building could be stopped as things like fridges, Boris Johnson's old friend, would be expected to be installed by contractors to a certain standard, but these standards can't be tested yet. Make UK, the CBI and the British Chamber of Commerce, to name a few of the stakeholders here, they are piling pressure on Lord Frost, the Brexit minister, to do something about all of this. They're expected to meet with the unelected bureaucrats soon and want conformity at the top of the agenda. Now, a way out of this is to extend the deadline for checks that apply only to the UK, but this has been rejected by the government. The argument against this was, wait for it, sovereignty. Industry was told to get ready for change. A spokesperson for Make UK said, conformity assessments are rapidly becoming a major blockage for companies who are now in a queue to get their products approved with a clock ticking down to the end of the year. Many are not even aware that this change is happening so soon. There is enormous bureaucracy involved in approving test centres, and government needs to urgently fast-track their approval so that these delays in getting products approved for UK companies can be removed. There's also the problem facing EU companies that want to sell goods into the UK. They also need to have their goods certified. This could mean EU-based companies not bothering with the hassle in regards to time and money. Brexit Britain looks set to move from being a world leader in conformity assessment to a relative backwater on this front. Testing centres in Britain accounted for more than 3/4 of European testing before Brexit, and this is likely to dry up. This is not business making mistakes, this is a government decision driven by Brexit dogma. Representatives for the car industry have said that it can take between 6 and 10 months in order to switch from one set of checks to another to ensure that a car meets the correct standards. And we're already in August. Industry have been extremely diplomatic in their language, suggesting that they're working closely with the government to iron out any issues. But there is a real fear that with Brexiteers in the driving seat, things will not be ready and businesses will once again have to pick up the pieces. In typical can-kicking, Lord Frost's team said that they expect to present a solution to industry on certifications in the next number of months. But for those expecting to test and comply, have said that there isn't enough time. This reckless behaviour runs the risk of not just damaging British business in the short term, but undermining trust and recognised standards that go way beyond the simple product. We will have to wait and see what solution Lord Frost comes up with, but my gut tells me it will be a rerun of earlier this year. Sorry, British business, you're on your own. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?